How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm working on this little road trailer. We're sort of cleaning down all the frames, masking them up, sanding this all down flat and smooth, rust treating it and repainting all the frame. So it's all nice and solid. All the wood's good. Got to sort out the lights here. Tyres are like new, but they're coming off. Got to get these wheel arches, get all this flaky paint off, stuff like that, and start working our way around the trailer. So let's see what we can do. Tyres are lovely, like brand new. Wheels need a sand down and a repaint. So as you can see, bottom of the trailer, it's all nice and solid. It's just a case of getting all this sort of stuff off. So, really good under all that. It's just a case of getting all the flaky stuff off, really. Floors are all nice and solid. I'll obviously show you the wood and all the tops when we get to that part. This is where we are at the moment. I've started masking off around the edges, because obviously if we sand, we don't want to be sanding into this lovely varnish. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I've got the old DA sander out. Just push the top and it spins around, you adjust the speed on the side. That will sand away. Using P80 Abranet Merca, which is like a metal grade. Let's see what it does. So you get the idea of what I'm doing, so I'll do this for a good while, bring you back in a little while, show you what's what, show you like a before and after, and we'll move on with this project. So we've been getting stuck in, and as you can see, we're starting to find bare metal, getting all the old paint off, all the way down the chassis rail here. But there's some stubborn bits on the edges that we need to get out, so I'm going to switch over to this tool here, and that's basically going to be a lot rougher sand than we can get all the way along and get all this rust off down to nice shiny clean bare metal. So let's give that a go and see how that does. Whoa. So as you can probably see, it's ripping off that rust. So I'll carry on and bring you back when I've done this rail. So it's all coming off quite nicely. As you can see, we're getting bare metal chassis. I'm now going to switch over to this. So let me just finish off some of the rougher bits, and we'll be down to bare metal on that part. So I'm literally going through all the tools, sort of finding the best way to get this off. And I'm now going over to the grinder with a really tough wire wheel on it. So we're going to give that a go. I want to get this down to the bare metal as quick as possible. Sort out any metal if there's any need doing, replacements, welding bits, that sort of thing, to be honest, on this trailer I don't think there is. I think it's just flaky, which is really good. Means it's got a nice solid trailer. So we'll give this a go and let's see how we get to. Well, that's working well, as you can see. We're bare metal right down. We've got no rot so far, which is really good. We've just got flaky paint. So we're going to do that to the whole frame on this side. Work our way along there. And that'd be nice if we've got no welding repairs to do, but let's keep stripping. So it's coming along quite nicely. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to take the wheel latch off so I can get behind that all nicely. So I don't want to leave any little bits of flaky paint behind it because I can't get in there. Yeah, I'll be able to mask off that whole side nicely and bare metal that whole side. So we need a 10mm spanner, a flat blade screwdriver. We'll get inside there and we'll whip them up. So I'll spin you around, take you in with a light, show you what we've got to do, and we'll take it off. So we're inside the trailer, and up there you should be able to see a couple of 10mm bolts. I've already given them a little nip and started to undo them, but you basically undo them, and this is the other side of them on the brackets there, and then we should be able to remove that arch, and that'll give us access all the way along there to do all that as well. Don't want to miss any bits, we want to do it all properly and nice. So that's our next bit. If you look on the bottom, this is the other side, that's the other ones. So you get the sort of idea. Yeah, right, let's carry on and do that. Whew, so I've got the wheel latch off. That's what it looks like inside. Been in there with a wire brush, but I want this all bare metal, so we'll get in there. Ooh, with the wire grinder. Get rid of all that sort of stuff. Sand the whole of the outside. It's got rust on it on the edges, but it's all nice and solid. Just need a good old sanding. Right, I'm going to put them bolts somewhere before I lose them, so I can clean them all up and get them back on as we put it back together. So while I was here, I just went into this barren and made sure we're all good, greased it all up, blasted some grease through the grease nipple as well. I'm now going to put the cap back on. We'll clean that all down with some cloth, and then as that grease gets round, I'll get round the barrens and all be good. There's no play in the barren whatsoever, so that's all cool. Right, let's carry on. So it's been a while now. I've gone all the way along the top. As you can see, pure bare metal, no rust whatsoever. Got into all the welds. Come down here. And I'm now at this bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all these cable ties off this bar, remove this wiring, so I can get to the hitch and the bar on that. I'm more than likely going to replace the hitch with a new one, because obviously it's an old worn out one, I would say. Still got to come down this bar here and then onto that side, but we'll do most of that from the other side. I'll come down this bar while we're up like that as well. So I think we'll get this wiring off and then we'll go from there, I think. Pretty straightforward to get this off, literally just cable ties. So all we're going to do is get in there and cut them off. Can put new ones on once the job's finished, or we can find another way of doing it. Simple as that. Pull the wire around to the back. And it's the case of unwiring them. I'm literally going to take this all apart and rewire them, so then like what's been done there, and look at the state of half of them. They're not looking too nice. So we'll be redoing all of that. We'll take off all of these as well. And we'll get it completely out of our way. That's where we are at the moment. Whew, so I've been busy for a few hours now, so I better spin you around and show you what I've been up to. big old mess on the floor. Right, let's have a look. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how much mess this is making. There's stuff absolutely everywhere. This was all clear when I started. So I've removed the back lights and just sort of popped them out so I can work around them and get all the paint and rust on the edges of them. I took the triangles off, reflectors. Been up this post, been all the way along the bottom, all the way along this side, all the chassis rail, all the way along that bar, all the way along that one, back down here, along there, all along the front, along the top there, down this one, and I'm sort of here now, I'm working my way down this one. So as you can see, I've been pretty busy. I'm actually right there at the moment. I'm coming along here, going around this handle and down that side, and then I've got all of this side to do. Wheel off, mudguard off, work my way along here, get these edges done, get that one done, and right along the front. As I said before, I'm going to be taking this hitch off. We're going to replace that with a nice shiny new one. I've got to do it along the front of here. Got to check this bearing while we're in there, get that all re-greased as long as there's no play or nothing in it. And that's sort of where we are at the moment. So yeah, definitely been busy. And look at that mess. There's a lot of paint come off there. But that's all part of the job. And that's the only way to do it. Been using grinder wheels, sanders, different sanders, wire brushes, little spinny thing, can't think what it's called. Hammers, nails, lights and stuff are all here, screwdrivers, tape to mask off so I don't catch any of the wood. There's all the bolts and stuff. There's the triangles. Grease I've been using to do the bearings at the same time. So yeah, been pretty busy. So I thought I'd show you a bit of what I'm up to, and that actually come off that post quite easy compared to what the rest I've been doing. Maybe that's been sanded down and painted before that post. But either way, that's basically what I'm doing. As I go around, I have to do that, and I use the long file for getting in the funny little gaps and stuff, and then I run over with the sander next to get the leftover bits of primer and stuff off it. And hopefully we'll be bare metal within the next few hours. Right, I think it's time to get this wheel out of our way. Job me. So we've got one black wheel and one white wheel, so didn't even notice that enough we've got. We can get along here now. Obviously have to get inside and get this wheel arch off. What all this is where someone's painted straight over dirt and none of it's stuck. And we'll be stripping that completely off. That's how easy paint comes off if you don't prep the surface properly, whereas someone just literally painted over that. I'll be putting these in my sandblaster, bare metal them, and then priming them so they'll be spot on. Same with the wheels. Right, I'm going to get in there and take that wheel arch off. You don't need to see that, you see me do the other one. And I'll be able to go along the rest of this side. We're starting to get to the point where most of it's bare metal now. Everything's solid as rock so far, which is really good. Well, it's a lot later, but we've been running the whole thing. It's all bare metaled. Took a bit of time, but that's the only way to do it. All the welds in that are lovely, nice and solid. It's looking pretty good. I've just got two tiny bits to do, like round the hub, get into some of these little gaps. Otherwise, every little bit is done. bare metal wise anyway. Look at the floor. This stuff is absolutely everywhere. I say much of it is in the air. Woohoo! It's quite bad. Right, so let's carry on. What I've been doing, I finished that probably half an hour ago, and I've gone onto this wheel, started rubbing the rust out of this wheel. Having to do it by hand because obviously don't want to catch the tyre, and yeah, just get the rust out of it. Then I've got to do this one as well. Both the tyres are really good, which is nice. So I'm going to get on there with probably some what we got. Probably some 80 grit, something like that. Merker, and we'll see what we can do on them. Right, so I've blown this all down, wiped it all down with a panel wipe, and I'm now going to put some rust treatment on it to stop it from rusting overnight. Yummy green stuff. Trailer's all masked up so I don't go wherever. I want quite a bit of this on so it seals up nicely. Literally a case of painting everywhere you've been. This will stop any rust from coming back anytime soon. Should give you a good few years. Once this is all primed up and got a couple of layers of paint and stuff on it and sealed up, it should be no reason why it shouldn't do another 5-10 years. I'll make sure I get in all the little fiddly bits. Don't miss anything, no matter how much of this you put on, you can slap loads of it on. You can't really put too much on. You just want to get it on as much as possible, really. Make sure you hold the lights back and get in behind the lights and stuff. A lot of people always skip this process and don't seal the metal up. A lot of people just would have painted over the bad paint, but this is the way to do it properly. Lovely bit of rust proof. This dries up like a sort of catalyst, really. It goes really hard and basically seals up everything on there. So we'll go around the whole trailer, get it all sealed up, then we've got no worries of any rust or anything coming back. Okay, so that's 3 really good coats with the rust proof on it. So that will seal that right up. Looking lovely. That will really crystallise once left to dry properly overnight. And then that'll be ready for some primer. And then some paint. So it's the next day now. Oh, it's cold over here today. So I've got the old hat and that on. Next step is to get some red oxide primer on there. And basically this will protect the metal. So if the rust proof fails at any point for any reason, this will be the next layer. So I'll spin you around and show you what that is. And we'll get some on the trailer. So got myself a brush. You can get it on without a brush. And this is the one we're using today. Don't go for the cheapest ones out there because they're just thinned down. Get a nice quality one. You can normally hear whether they're all watered down or not, and this one sounds pretty good. So let's pull the lid off. Flat blade screwdriver. That's what it looks like. Yummy stuff. Literally just go around. You might take a few coats and make sure you cover every little bit of the metal. I don't mind getting a bit on the bottom here because I'm going to black the whole bottom. But around the edges I don't want anything on anything. It will cover quite well because we put our bottom layer on of rust proof. This gives you a really good foundation for putting this on. But don't skimp with it, just put it on liberally as much as you can, sort of thing, without going too over the top. If you want it to dry. And then that sort of coverage will do you pretty well. So I'll go around the rest of the trailer. I'll bring you back once we're all sealed up. So as you can see, we're getting on our way around. We've done this end, or this side of the trailer. We're now going to work ourselves around to the other end of the trailer. If you want a little trick of getting this absolutely perfect, you don't want any brush marks or anything. If you do a couple of coats of what I'm doing now, let it go hard and then sand it down with some very light sandpaper. You can keep everything really, really smooth, but I'm just going to brush it on and then do the smooth coats with the black. And we should be looking pretty good. So I'm going to move to the side. We'll do this little side bit on film so you can see what's what. To really work it in all the welds and stuff like that, around the bolts down the sides. Don't be scared to get a good amount on. And a fair bit on there. And that will last you years and years and years. Come to this trailer in 10 years' time, and it'll probably still be going no problem. And literally just coat it like that, cover every little bit, and then working my way along here. Nice big long sweeping coats, put it on quite thick. It doesn't matter if I go over the edge because I'm all masked up around the edges. Try and get a complete covering even on the first coat. Don't forget to get in all your little chassis bits. Poke it in all the little areas. I will even pop these caps off in a minute and do all inside of them and that, and wax them inside that chassis bar. Perhaps some more on there. So it's a good while later now. We have two coats, a nice thick primer. You can see it's still shiny because of second coats still going off. As you can see, we've got every single little bit mist or anything, get right into the little gaps. Do every little bit of metal there is. Don't worry about going to the edges and stuff. If you don't want paint on them, just mask them. But you need to get onto that inner edge of the metal as well. We're looking pretty good. I'm not gonna let that harden right off for 24 hours. So it'll go rock solid. If you've got somewhere where you can put it really hot, like a spray booth or an oven or something like that, then yeah, you can bake it off, but I like to leave it at least 24 hours, let it all go hard, and then we'll move on to the top coats, which is going to be black. In the meantime, while that's going off, I'll be working on these, which I've already started to have a little go. That seem to be coming off quite nicely, and they're actually rock solid underneath. It's just surface rust. So we're going to literally clean these right down to bare metal as best as possible. Hopefully, so they're all like that. But obviously, a lot shinier. Got the other one over here as well. It's got some rust on the edges as well. Most of it's pretty good. It's a good thing about this trailer, nothing's actually rotten. It's just the paint job has had over the top of the bubbly bits is not so great. So we'll get on with them next, and we'll go from there. We've still got wheels to do. This one's sort of half sanded down, and I've realised that the white one that I had earlier on in the video, this one here that I prepped, is a spare wheel because it's an odd wheel. We've got two of the black ones with matching tyres, so we'll stick with these two. The other one's got a bit of a puncture, so we'll deal with that and go from there. Okay, so that's 3 really good coats with the rust proof on it, so that will seal that right up, looking lovely. That will really crystallise once left to dry properly overnight, and then that'll be ready for some primer and then some paint. So it's the next day now. Oh, it's cold over here today, so I've got the old hat and that on. Next step is to get some red oxide primer on there, and basically this will protect the metal. So if the rust proof fails at any point from any reason, this will be the next layer. So I'll spin you around and show you what that is, and we'll get some on the trailer. So got myself a brush. You can get it on without a brush, and this is the one we're using today. Don't go for the cheapest ones out there because they're just thinned down. Get a nice quality one. You can normally hear whether they're all watered down or not, and this one sounds pretty good. So let's pull the lid off. Flat blade screwdriver. That's what it looks like. Yummy stuff. Literally just go around. You might take a few coats and make sure you cover every little bit of the metal. I don't mind getting a bit on the bottom here because I'm going to black the whole bottom, but around the edges I don't want anything on anything. It will cover quite well because we put our bottom layer on of rust proof. This gives you a really good foundation for putting this on. But don't skimp with it, just put it on liberally as much as you can, sort of thing, without going too over the top. If you want it to dry. And then that sort of coverage will do you pretty well. So I'll go around the rest of the trailer. I'll bring you back once we're all sealed up. So as you can see, we're getting on our way around. We've done this end, or this side of the trailer. We're now going to work ourselves around to the other end of the trailer. If you want a little trick of getting this absolutely perfect, you don't want any brush marks or anything. If you do a couple of coats of what I'm doing now, let it go hard and then sand it down with some very light sandpaper. You can keep everything really, really smooth, but I'm just going to brush it on and then do the smooth coats with the black. And we should be looking pretty good. So I'm going to move to the side. We'll do this little side bit on film so you can see what's what. To really work it in all the welds and stuff like that, around the bolts down the sides. Don't be scared to get a good amount on. And a fair bit on there. And that will last you years and years and years. Come to this trailer in 10 years time and it'll probably still be going no problem. And literally just coat it like that. Cover over a little bit. And then work my way along here. Nice big long sweeping coats. Put it on quite thick. It doesn't matter if I go over the edge because I'm all masked up around the edges. Try and get a complete covering even on the first coat. Don't forget to get in all your little chassis bits. Poke it in all the little areas. I will even pop these caps off in a minute and do all the inside of them and that and wax them inside that chassis bar. Doesn't matter if you get on the cap and stuff because you just paint the cap as well. And yeah, you just keep going round. Don't want to miss any little bits start to show through. Make sure you slap some more on there. So it's a good while later now. We have 2 coats. A nice thick primer. You can see it's still shiny because of second coats still going off. As you can see, we've got every single little bit. Missed anything, get right into the little gaps. Do every little bit of metal there is. Don't worry about going to the edges and stuff. If you don't want paint on them, just mask them. But you need to get onto that inner edge of the metal as well. We're looking pretty good. I'm not going to let that harden right off for 24 hours. So it'll go rock solid. If you've got somewhere where you can put it really hot, like a spray booth or an oven or something like that, then yeah, you can bake it off, but I like to leave it at least 24 hours, let it all go hard, and then we'll move on to some the top coats, which is going to be black. In the meantime, while that's going off, I'll be working on these, which I've already started to have a little go. That seem to be coming off quite nicely, and they're actually rock solid underneath. It's just surface rust. So we're going to literally clean these right down to bare metal as best as possible. Hopefully, so they're all like that. But obviously, a lot shinier. Got the other one over here as well. It's got some rust on the edges as well. Most of it's pretty good. It's a good thing about this trailer, nothing's actually rotten. It's just the paint job has had over the top of the bubbly bits is not so great. So we'll get on with them next. And we'll go from there. We've still got wheels to do. This one's sort of half sanded down. And I've realised that the white one that I had earlier on in the video, this one here, that I prepped, is a spare wheel. Because it's an odd wheel. We've got two of the black ones with matching tyres. So we'll stick with these two. The other one's got a bit of a puncher, so we'll deal with that and go from there. So it's been 24 hours now. Got 3 nice coats all round all the metal on the trailer. Looking pretty good. Everything's all nice and sealed up. No bubbles, no nothing, no rust coming through. Fully rust treated. Looking pretty good. So next we're going to turn our attention to putting some colour on. So I'll get a tin of colour out and we'll start putting some on. So today on this one we're going to use a black gloss. Nice quality one. As you can probably hear, it's not all watered down. That'll be nice and thick. I'll give it a good old shake up. And that's pretty much what we got. Gives you an idea how thick it is. Lovely. Let's try some. And don't expect this to, on the first coat, go straight over the red. You might be able to get most of it if you put a decent amount on. But you can't go too silly because you want it to dry okay. So expect to put 2 or 3 coats on before you get full coverage. So let's work our way along a bit. Let's see how we go on. Already looking quite nice. But as it dries up, you'll start to see through bits where you'll need the second coat and the third coat probably. Try and keep moving it about and getting it as smooth as possible. The more quality paint you get, the better that will go on, and obviously the finer brush bristles and stuff like that will make it better as well. It's looking pretty good so far. So you don't want 10 ton of paint all on the first coat, you just want to get some paint on there. So the next layer's got something to stick to really, especially on these little fiddly bits. You can already see that's going to show through a bit on the first coat, that's not a problem. move the light out of the way and stuff. If you do get in on the lights and stuff, just use the thinner to remove it when you're in the clean up process. Got a little bit of red on the edge of these as well. We'll soon get rid of that. So it's just a case of getting something on there to start with. Just keep moving the lights around so you can get around all the areas. It's going on fairly quickly. I did panel wipe it down and let it dry for half an hour before I did start painting. There's no dust or anything anywhere. So I think you're starting to get the idea. It's starting to look quite nice. So I'll carry on around the trailer and bring you back once we're got a bit further. Wow, it's been a good hour or so now. We'll go right round. We're all black. Just the first coat at the moment, but looking pretty good. Can see through in a couple of areas. That's just normal for the first coat. Looking pretty nice. See where there's like a couple of little bits where you can see through. I might just go over that a little bit again in a sec as they start to draw out. So we'll give that 24 hours to go off and then we'll do it again. I think I'm gonna have a little go at this wheel down here now. I'm gonna mask it up around the edges, put a bit of paint on that, and we'll go from there. Well, we've done a wheel, give it a good old sand down, coat of primer. I actually used a tin primer on this one because I wanted it to dry fast, and then I put it in front of the heater and cured it fast, and now we've got some black on there. So next job is going to be, we've got to get this hitch off so we can just do in all these edges and stuff in here where we couldn't get to with the hitch on, and then we'll go from there. So we've got a 17 and 18mm spanner. We're going to have to heat them up because they're pretty seized on, and hopefully it'll come off. Okay, so time to get the old heat gun out. Tried undoing them just normally, but it's not happening. Give it a good old shake. They get a bit cold sitting around. going to take a bit of paint up in here, but then we'll scrape it off anyway. So hopefully that's sorted them out. So there. Sort of touch. Just about touchable now. One bolt, one nut, and a washer. I need 2 hands to the job, so bear with me. So hopefully, as you can see, I've took the hitch off and I've sanded all inside where it was. Now I'm going to put a bit of paint in there. I don't like to miss any bits really. I want the whole trailer absolutely covered in paint. Actually get in the holes and everything. Pretty good. And that'll dry off with the rest of it now. Little tip I will give when doing this is not to clean up the floor. I know all that paint will be grinded in the first parts. It's all over the floor and everywhere, but if you sweep it up, it stays in the air. And then when you go to paint, it settles on the paint and as it dries, and you get a sort of gritty finish. So just a little tip. Leave all the clean up until you're completely finished. Whew, so as you can see, getting blinded by the sun there. I'm going to take one of the wheel arches outside. I'm going to strap it down to the back of my lorry, and I'm going to strip it down. So let's go out there and have a look. It's really, really warm. Quite surprised, a bit windy, but nothing to worry about. So we're all set up here. I've already done one half of it, and I'm now going to get the rest of it done. So let's have a go, shall we? I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm using the grinder with a really rough wire wheel. Feels like I've got a bit of metal on my finger at the moment, which is a pain. So I think you get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm basically going through the paint, through the primer, and then trying to get rid of any rust that's on the surface on the bare metal. So I'll go through the rest of this wheel arch, and then I'll let you have a little look once we're finished. Going to do inside and out and all the edges, brackets, the whole lot. It should be pretty good once we're done. So it's starting to look pretty good. No rot's gone right through. The inside's becoming a bit more of a pain to do, but we'll get it done. So that took a good while, but that's the inside. Lovely and clean, as well as the outside. Completely bare metalled. All the edges. Oh, missed a bit on the bracket. Tiny little bit there to do. Otherwise, ready for some rust treatment. So I'm whacking on loads of rust treatment at the moment. Just holding it by the thingies and can actually get up in there behind the arches and stuff. The lip. Don't skimp on how much you put on, just put loads on. That'll give you loads of protection. That's the hard bit. I always been rub it in circles myself. Really work it in there. Pretty good. Double check the lips. They're the main bits. And sit it on the frame like that. With some pipe if you got it. So, guess what? Got to do it all over again on the other side. So I'm sure you don't want to see it all again, so I'll get on with this one off camera, get it all bare metalled, and then just show you it when it's finished before I put the rust treatment on. So let's do it. Again, it's not rotten at all, it's just got bubbly rust. Whew, so it's been a couple of hours again now, and here's the other one. All bare metalled, nothing on the edges, jabbly, and all inside. Don't get much better than that, so I'm going to rust treat this one, and that's 10 o'clock at night now, so I'm going to call it a night. I can't really do much after this. So I need these to go off, and then I can red oxide prime them tomorrow, rust treatment tonight. And then back on the trailer tomorrow again to give it another coat of the black. And then once I'm happy with where the paint is on there, and I'll then start looking at the wiring. Still got the wheels to finish off. And the new hitch is here now, so I'll be putting that on tomorrow. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, pretty good so far. Bit knackered now though, all that grinding's hard work. I made the old arms shake. So, that's both arches down there. Both of them are all completely rust treated. Inside and out. Lovely. So we'll leave them overnight. This is what the old paint is looking like on the trailer now. Should be sort of half dry now, another 12 hours. And that'll be ready for another coat. Not bad so far. Alright everyone, how's it going? So we're still doing the trailer. I've just been out and picked up another one. If you're looking out the back window you can see it. It's a bit rattly because the hitch is a bit worn on it. That'll be getting replaced. And then the car behind that is Jo in the Astra. She's coming over to get some parts, do some posts and stuff like that. And then I think she's off shopping. Right, so we're just about back over the unit. So let's get on with the trailer we're doing. So we're back in the Waterside Workshop. Trailer's in front of us. I've already done half of it again, so we're on second coat of black. And I found a way of doing the outside and the inside of the arches at the same time, so that's going to be a bonus. So I'll spin you around and show you where we are. And we'll go from there. Let's move on with this trailer. So as you can see from the shine, second coat's going on really nicely. Done 3/4 of the metal work. You have to excuse the noise around the sides. We've got a workshop to the right and to the back of us, and one across the field on the left. So there's plenty of noise, because obviously we're on an industrial estate. So I'm sort of here now, and they're going to go across this bar, and then across the axle, along the drawbar, into there. And that'll be the second coat on, then I'll just paint the wood as the last bit. Right, on these arches, which have been sitting nicely all night now, all lovely and rust proofed. What I've done is I've just hung them from a pair of steps, and what I'll be able to do is just touch them by the edges here, or put a screw or something in there, or a screwdriver. I'll be able to move them around. I'll be able to paint the inside and the outside in one hit, instead of having to wait 24 hours on both sides, and that'd take them far too long. So that's the plan. That one's there, the other one's down there, and that's what we're doing. So I'm going to get on to this, get this bit finished. In between that, first thing I've done was this wheel. So this wheel's now got a second coat on it, starting to look nice and glossy and nice and shiny, all nice and smooth from where it's been sanded down. Looking pretty good. So as you can see, the second coat goes on a breeze compared to the first primer coats and then this coat. It's just getting that foundation laid down, and then it goes on lovely. So we'll carry on finishing the bottom half of this, and then that's this side of it done. So I'm sure you get the idea of what I'm doing. So I'll finish off the rest of the bottom, and I'll give you a closer look. So there you go. Another coat on the whole lot. Shiny and glossy. Starting to dry up in a few little places, so you can see where the patches are. It's fairly warm in here today. Trying to keep everything on nice and warm to keep the paint going off quicker. It's looking pretty good. Nice. Right. So I can't really do much more with that now. What I'm going to do is pull the masking tape off and move on to the other parts. Probably these arches, I reckon. So just with the tape off one side, it's starting to look really good. Looking forward to seeing the arches and wheels back on. Doing a bit of work on them cover holders, or replacing them, one of the two. Putting the cover on, new rope around the cover, fitting the lights and stuff like that. Should look pretty good. So let's turn our attention to the arches and see what we can do with them. Right in all them little gaps. Should be able to get it to go on fairly well. Right up on them lips. Pressure brushing where all the brackets go. Always get right on them lips. As much paint as possible. I'll fill them right up. The more you get under there, the less dirt and grime will get in there. And less chance of any rust ever coming back. Looking good already. They're not even black yet. Right in there. Looking nice. And you get the idea, so let's get the rest of this done. So it's looking pretty nice, a bit fiddly because you've got to do both sides without trying to sort of touch where the frame is hanging from, but managed to do it. A bit covered in it. But soon wipe all out. I've got the gear to do that, so I'm going to put the heater on that one and try and dry it off a little bit so I can take it off there and hang it somewhere else. And then I can get on with the second one. So I'll do that now. I know what you're probably thinking. It's quite a few days just doing one little trailer. Well, that's not the case. I'm stripping that car behind, as you can probably see there. I'm also doing some work on some other bits and pieces, and I'm also doing this. I'm building this trailer at the same time. Well, thought it was best to only show one, but you can sort of see what I'm up to. Frames now getting done. Well, got as far as I can today. I've run out of black paint, so I've got to grab some more of that in the morning. And it's getting late anyway, so now it's starting to get dark. So we'll have a bit earlier night tonight, and then we'll crack on first thing in the morning and get a few more hours in. So, as you can probably see, the trailer's coming on quite nicely now. Won't be long before we can turn it over, put the wheel arches and that back on, fit the wheels, put the rear lights on, fit the cover, put new roping on, sort out the little cleats that hold the rope all the way around the edges. We've still got a few jobs to do, but coming on pretty well. So we'll see you tomorrow. Right everyone, so the arches are dry from the oxide primer. Should be nice and rust proof now. So let's get some black on there and start covering it up. Be careful to get it all on the side of the lips and stuff. Still very slightly tacky, but it should be okay. Get it all under the brackets and stuff. First coat don't really matter too much. Not trying to make it all shiny and stuff, just trying to get the coverage on there ready for nice smooth cut afterwards. Starting to look good already, huh? I'll get a decent amount on, but it's not enough to make it run. I'm going to do the top of the holding tool on the last bit. Be careful if it runs all the way down. Looking pretty good. lovely. So I think you get the idea. So I'll do the other side as well. And that'll be that one with the first coat on it. So that's that one done inside and out. It's looking pretty good, especially for the first coat. So we'll let that one go off and I'll get over there and do the other one. So this is the other one. Same again, all nice and primed up. Both sides. Okay, so both arches are all nice and painted up. All nice and shiny. Might give them just one more coat once they're on the trailer. But they're looking pretty good so far. Quite happy with that. Paintwork on the trailer's pretty dry to the touch now. It took a couple of days to dry off nicely. It's pretty good. So next thing I'm going to do is turn my attention to this and sort this light out. Because as you can see, it's gone rusty actually inside the connectors. Which isn't no good. You want this to all be nice and fresh. All wrapped up and fully waterproofed. So all these lights work as they should. I pulled the connections and stuff on these and they all feel pretty good. They're all nice and clean. I'm going to take them off and just clean up the terminals and stuff. I've already had a look at these ones and they're already pretty good. So not bad. So we'll get on to that bit. And then we've got these things to sort out. Make them look nice and tidy or replace them. And then that'll be time to, once I put another coat on this wheel, I've already put this one back on. I'm going to put that one back on this side. And we're going to turn her back over. And once she's sitting on the ground, we can put the brand new hitch on. See if there's any paint on the other side that we need to be touching up or put another coat on. And that's sort of where we are at the moment. As I've said before, while I've been doing this, I've also been doing this one. This one's pretty close to being finished now, to be fair, as you can probably see. Hasn't had the complete strip down and rebuild like that one, but it's certainly been tidied up and looking pretty good. There's a cover over there for it. Got a wooden frame for the top to make it bigger, stop the water pushing down. Got to fit some lights and stuff like that to it. And then I've got to look at that one there. So it's keeping me busy. There's plenty of trailers to do in between doing the cars and whatever else they decide to play with that week. So that's the wiring all on, all nice and wrapped up and waterproofed. Make sure you put plenty on, because obviously if a branch or something goes under the trailer while you're driving along, you don't want it to rip it apart. I'm going to put some cable ties along the trailer now. So it's all nice and tight. And that will leave us a nice slack bit at the top end for when you turn corners and stuff like that. Pretty good. That's the cable all on. Nice, so that concludes the underneath, apart from tidying up the bits that I've made a mess from doing this. That sort of stuff down there. All going in the bin. It's all old from when the trailer was first done. Gonna whack a hoover over it quickly. Just get some of these other bits off. Touch up any bits if I need to. Put these back in the brackets. Pretty good. Put the tools away. And that's going to conclude the underneath. Lovely jubbly. Right, time to get the back lights back on, I think. All the wirings all pressed into right positions. Very tight for some reason. What's going on here? Tabs on the end there, I've got to go through the end. So not very easy. Got to be tight there. You want it to be waterproof. You know what I forgot to do, didn't I? I ain't actually bolted them back to the trailer. Silly me, trying to get ahead of myself. Remember right, there's two of them. I definitely don't want our lights flapping around while we're going along, doing smashing all the bulbs and stuff. Let's try again. As you can see, I've replaced the bulbs as well. Oh, I've got the fun bit of putting this back in again now. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's just get it all lined up. Get it straight in. Army job, nice and tight. Same on this side. Got years to go on this now. I'm not very left-handed, but I'll make it work. German, nice and tight. These are looking good. Triangles, mate. Don't like how rusty these nuts are. I think I'm going to change them to new ones. Yeah, I think I'm going to put these in, I think. Nice shiny new ones. These are too tight because you'll crack the triangle. Starting to come along now. And we'll do the same in these as well. We'll put all nice fresh screws in them. Looks quite nice. Normally I buff these up before I put them back on, but I'm going to do them on the trailer this time. Just a nice bit of polish to make them shine, and then some wax to seal them up. See them on the lights. Sort of one of the last things I do. Right, that's these off. It's in the wrong tray. Lovely jubbly. Quite nice. Come along. Definitely think these old trailers look much better than the metal new one. It's always nice to have a nice stained wooden trailer, solid wood. So everyone, we turned her over, stuck a jack underneath on some wood, and then a bit of wood on the front bar. And what I'm doing is I'm fitting the mud guards, as you can see here, bolts in underneath, and then I'm giving them their final coat of paint now they're on the trailer. Looking pretty good. This side's already done. I've got to fit the other wheel once it's dry, because that was a little bit behind because that had a puncture. But yeah, we're starting to look quite nice. Still got the new hitch on the front, but that'll be the last thing I do. And we wipe it all down and start cleaning everything up. But yeah, we're looking really good. Underneath is looking lovely, as you know, as we from the build, from following from the beginning. Yeah, quite nice. Just got to put a little bit more on this one. And then that wheel down there will go on. We'll clean down the tyres as well, put a bit of shine on them. And then that'll be time to, this is the hood cover, clean that all down, some shampoo and stuff like that, and give that some new rope, fit that to the trailer, get that to shine up. We'll be getting towards the end. So it's all back together on this side. Painted wheels on, wheel arches had 2 more coats. Done a couple of tiny touch-ups around the edges just where I turned it over. Took the white wheel off this side, give this arch another coat, and I'm now doing the spare wheel down on the floor there. I'll leave that overnight, then that'll get another coat tomorrow. And that's sort of as far as I can go really. Because there's too much wet paint around now, so I can't fit the top cover or anything like that yet. I've got to get onto these, get these finished, which I'll do tomorrow. Sort this cover out and put it on top, and we'll get the front hitch on, and then that'll wrap this one up, I think. It's starting to look quite nice, as I'm sure you'll agree. It took a fair while, here and there, on and off, for about a week. Obviously in between doing lots of other stuff as well. I've been playing with outboard motors and sibs and 2 other trailers. I've had to do some work on some of the other cars as well, so I've been pretty busy, but I think we're getting there. Okay, so I've skipped ahead a bit now. The wheels and stuff are on, I've got the tyre paint and stuff on. The archers had all their coats. Same on this side as well. We've put the cover on at the moment, but that's not staying there. It's just fitting its own head, the size and how it fits, and whether it needs new rope and that sort of stuff. And what I've started doing is taking off the little bits on the sides that hold the rope down the sides like so. I've just got them all laying here on tissue paper at the moment. I've rubbed them all down. They're waiting for a coat of primer and then a coat of paint. So I've got 3 more left on this side to take off, and then these 2 at the front here, so I'll get them off and then we can go from there. Hitch is sitting there, but it's not in there yet because I need to get some new bolts, so they're nice and shiny. Still got some over here, but they're a bit rusty. I don't think they'll look too good, so we'll get a nice new shiny set. And that's where we are at the moment. So let's carry on. Let's see if we can't make this look really, really good. In the meantime, I've been doing this one, which is all finished now. Looking quite nice. Just ready to put some lights on the back, which is the trailer board over there. And then that should be pretty good. Well everyone, it's been about a week now, so I'll spin you around and show you what I've been up to, but I sprayed the eyelets that hold the rope and they kept reacting, so I've been hunting around and I've actually found a replacement of the proper ones, so that's exactly what I wanted. So I'll spin you around and show you that, and let's finish this trailer. So as you can see, I've been round it, sprayed them all up. I mean, don't get me wrong, they look okay, but just not good enough for what I want. Can't really get to the back, but you can, but haven't done the backs, and you can see they're reacting and there's all bubbly bits on them. Not how we want them. So we now have a nice brand new shiny set of the proper ones that have come off. So we'll get these out of the bag and we'll start putting some on. So let's go ahead and put one of these new shiny ones on. Should fit exactly where the old ones come off. Should be exactly the right size, exactly the right bolt holes. Spot on, look at that. What I am going to do though is I'm going to fit new screws. Or was that going to look too nice with rusty ones? Do one and then speed things up for the rest, I think. make sure you get it all lined up nicely. Wow, looking good, looking good. Let's get the rest on. Well, I'm quite happy with them. And they look really nice. Finish off the trailer nicely. Lovely jubbly. Now I've just got to work out what to do about our hitch, because this one, the bolt holes don't line up. I don't think one will be enough to hold it down for what we want, really. Do we drill new holes or do we just get another hitch? So we're turning my attention to the hitch, and after trying lots of different new ones, nothing wanted to fit. You couldn't bolt in from the sides or anything like that. So what I've done is I've reconditioned an old one. Sort of got in there, get it all greased up. It's all working lovely, and we're painting it to match. To be fair, it looks better on the trailer anyway. We've got new bolts on there, but they're obviously black now. That's the old ones down there. So it's starting to look, well, it's pretty good. It's as far as we're going. So quite nice. So I've got to let them dry overnight. We'll give it the final wipe down, and then we'll get some photos.